From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
You know, as we talk about the forecast, I can't help but think about the month of August and just how mild it was considering where we typically are for that time of the year. We saw temperatures for over 2 weeks below normal, and they reached the 80s for many of those days as well. So we were spoiled for the month of August. We go into September, and then suddenly it heats back up to the summer heat. Temperatures above normal, we're back in the triple digits, but the good news is it's not going to be here forever. So let's take a look at the weather headlines. We've got highs well above average for the rest of this week, even into the first half of the weekend. Still looking at the potential for some showers and thunderstorms in the Sierra on Friday, but I will say this. The forecast models are beginning to back off more and more on that potential. In fact, they've backed off entirely, at least based on futurecasts, but I'm still keeping that in there. We'll talk about that more detail here in a second. Not as hot next week, and then I do expect maybe another chance for showers and thunderstorms by the middle to even latter part of next week. Your neighborhood forecast at a glance for today, yes, another hot day. Temperatures though for the coast, much cooler, in the low 60s for your daytime highs. Oh, that's the place to go to cool off, right? So the winds will still be breezy at times for many of us. We're not looking at any major wind events, but you'll notice tomorrow the winds out of the south for the valley, over 20 miles per hour in some spots here, not to mention the eastern mountains and into central Siskiyou County as well. Some of the typical spots that we've seen here this summer. Then we go into Saturday. The winds, once again, fairly strong here as we go into the valley, eastern mountains, and central Siskiyou County. So just a few things to take into account, especially when we're talking about humidity still down into the single digits here for today. They'll still be in the single digits here as we go into your Friday as well. So there you can see here, so, I mean, this is good too, right? Very good humidity on the coast, but that's typical, especially when you've got that low clouds and fog. But those single digits, maybe some low teens out in the eastern mountains on Friday. Then we go into your Saturday. Yeah, I mean, it's still very dry out there. Single digits in the low teens off into the eastern mountains. All right, so let's take a look at that fire weather risk here. And again, it's the very high conditions here for the valley, central Siskiyou County in the moderate to high category in the east. It's the same song and dance here when we're talking about that fire weather risk here going into your Friday and most likely even into your Saturday as well. So the heat continues. We've got a heat advisory now for all of the areas in orange here through Friday, as temperatures will most likely be well above 100 degrees here through that time frame. So we've got the main bubble of heat here. The main big ridge of high pressure is pretty much right on top of us right now. Today's the peak of the warming trend. Then temperatures start to drop as we go into the weekend, as we have a weak trough of low pressure right here. It has more mild but still warm, borderline hot air associated with it, and that's why temperatures still hot on Saturday, but we're still in that cooling trend. Because eventually that'll kind of level out. The heat dives down more to the south and east. We've got this trough of low pressure that's got cooler air associated with it that'll eventually be working its way towards us. Now, this is where the long-range forecast models begin to diverge. This particular model has it pretty much right on top of us, keeping our temperatures well below normal. This would indicate even some 70s in your forecast for the valley by Wednesday, even Thursday, and not to mention showers and thunderstorms as well. However, the European forecast model has this over here and doesn't really have it impacting our weather at all, really. And then eventually this model takes that all out to the north and east, and we start to dry things out and cool things off. So when we start talking about chances for rain here in a second, we'll take that into account when we're talking about chances for rain, all right? So there you can see the big ridge of high pressure that's in place. That's the heat. Now, the Storm Prediction Center is still holding on strong for the potential for thunderstorms tomorrow for all of the areas in green. I'm going to have to disagree with that. For now, I'm even backing off on my initial thoughts. I'm thinking El Turris down to Susanville, east of Quincy, eastward is where we have the best chances for thunderstorms. To the west of that line, I would say most likely nothing. And so let's take a look at futurecast. All right, let's start with today. Right? So we go into this evening tonight, that fog and that marine layer is going to return for the coast. So Crescent City, Eureka, I think you'll be looking at some patchy fog out there as we take you through the day on Friday. there's that first little push trying to move through on Friday. But you'll notice on Friday, no showers or thunderstorms at all based on Futurecast. Yesterday, it had it all in this area right here. It's backed off and pushing it off to the east and really kind of fizzling out. So with that said, I'm still holding a little bit for that chance for showers, especially eastern Modoc, eastern Lassen, and eastern Plumas. Otherwise, the rest of us looking dry, still that fog along the coast and that marine layer hanging on Friday, not to mention Saturday. A few clouds pushing through on Saturday, but otherwise mainly just those high and mid-level clouds. Looking at the long range, again, remember I was talking about the long range forecast models are diverging. So by the time we get into Tuesday, still dry. By Wednesday of next week, this model gives us a chance for rain continuing even on Thursday as well. That being said, remember what I said about the European forecast model has this way off to our west, keeping us dry for all of next week. So I'm splitting the difference and I'm at least calling for a chance for showers by next Wednesday. But for now, again, it's one of those stay tuned type of forecasts. Temperatures are going to be well over 100 degrees in the valley. Today's the peak of that warming trend. I'm going to take you back. I kind of get a little button happy here for a second. Let's take you back. There you can see temperatures will be in the 90s for most of the higher elevations, and we've got those low to mid 60s. Not as warm as initially thought for the coast. That's because that marine layer is going to be making its return later on this evening and especially going into tonight. So your 7-day outlook. The bottom line is this. The heat continues through at least Saturday, right around or just below 100 degrees on Saturday for the valley. Temperatures continue to drop. Stay tuned with the chances for showers for next Wednesday, and not to mention those temperatures. They may be a little bit cooler. They may be a little bit warmer. For now, I'm splitting the difference between those long-range forecast models. We take a look at the coast, inland, and Weaverville. No showers or thunderstorms until that potential on Wednesday. Same situation. Now, of course, the coast, mid to upper 60s, really. But for the inland areas and for Trinity County, temperatures really dropping as we take you through next week. Now, we take a look at Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. All right, so we got it dry through that chance for showers Wednesday, much cooler as we go through next week. I'm still keeping the chance for isolated thunderstorms for Alturas and Susanville. West of Alturas, west of Susanville, most likely dry. So places like Bernie, for example, probably no thunderstorms, right? Or Shingletown for that matter. But there you can see over the weekend, temperatures start to drop. They drop even more as we go through next week. As I mentioned, still looking at that slight chance for showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms by next Wednesday. That's your afternoon update. Be sure to tune in this evening at 6 o'clock. We'll take a look at the latest forecast model data, and we'll really begin to fine-tune as to whether or not I still think we'll see showers and thunderstorms for Alturas and Susanville.